Hi everybody, my name is Doug and today I'm going to be taking a look at this mattress. This is the Zinus 8-inch hybrid green tea foam and spring mattress. If you appreciate videos like this one, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel so that you can stay up to date. I know what you're wanting to know right up front is, what are my impressions? Did I like this mattress? The short answer is no, not really. Now there's a lot more detail than that, and I'll get into a few details in just a moment. But first let's talk about what the mattress is made of, or what the composition of the mattress is. The top layer is a knitted jacquard cover, and then underneath that there is a thin layer of microfiber quilted fabric, then a 1/2 inch of high density foam, 1 inch of visco latex foam, and then 6 inches of the inner spring support system. Now just to clarify, when we say the inner spring support system, it's regular old springs, the good old-fashioned kind. These are not individually pocketed coils, or these are not what's called the Marshall coil. This style is a little more old-fashioned. You don't see this as much today, where all the coils are kind of connected together. This is called a hybrid mattress. That's how Zinus advertises it. In this reviewer's opinion, this is not a hybrid mattress. This is an inner spring mattress. Let's take a look at the motion transfer here. Right up front, I'll let you know, don't plan on sharing this bed with someone else unless your goal is to hate that person, because the motion transfer in this bed is ridiculously bad. If you keep an eye as I drop this, first of all, I'm not sure if it picks up on the video, but it's kind of noisy. And secondly, it's extremely bouncy. Those books are jiggling all over the place here. If I get out the bowling ball, I'm going to try to get this away from the edge. This weighs between 12 and 16 pounds. I mean, that ball is catching air. It's an inner spring mattress. It's not designed to dissipate or absorb the motion. It's not a bed that's designed to mitigate motion transfer. So just realize this is a solo sleeper's bed. This is not a bed for couples. With that in mind, I'll take a quick look at the edge support here. If I sit on the edge with my hind end back, I'm compressing about halfway down. If I come to the extreme edge, it has collapsed totally. If I sit in the corner, it doesn't support me at all. I have the sensation of falling out of bed. So here's just a quick look at the feel. There's really no foaminess to it. The pattern looks kind of cool, and it feels okay. It's not luxurious, but it's fine in terms of feel, but it's just... And there's a little bit of noise too. Can you hear that? When you compress the bed down, because it's all springs. The only other complaint about the feel or comfort or looks was, I don't know if you can see right there, there's this brown mark. I did not do that. It came out that way when I unboxed it, so don't really know what that is, but the feel is the least of my concerns. This is one of the least expensive mattresses that you can get on Amazon. Prices vary frequently, but when I bought it, the queen size was under $200. It was well under $200. In fact, with sales tax, it was somewhere between $140 and $170. So this is not an expensive mattress. I think this mattress sells primarily on price. I should also mention this is the 8-inch on Amazon. In the same page would be the 10-inch and the 12-inch variety. All the reviews are mixed together, but if you read them individually, it will say on there which model they got, whether it was the 8, 10, or 12-inch. So with that in mind, this is the least expensive, and I think if you got the 10-inch or the 12-inch, you would probably like it better. This is the entry-level model. I wouldn't buy this mattress unless you're in such a financial pinch that you have no other choice. And let me tell you about my experience. So when I unboxed this mattress, I intended to sleep on it for 3 to 5 nights. First of all, when it was unboxed, it did have quite a bit of odor to it, off-gassing. It did dissipate after about 3 days, and then I started my sleep trial. After the first night, or during the first night, I woke up at about 3 o'clock in the morning and I was very sore. I took a couple ibuprofen and I really didn't want to get back into bed. I did force myself to finish out. I did a second night. I was very sore again, and at that point I called it quits. I didn't really see any advantage to doing a third, fourth, or fifth night to help with this review over what I perceived in the first 2 nights, or the only 2 nights that I slept on it. So let's talk about the comfort, pressure point relief, and support. This is a very firm mattress. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most firm, I would say this comes in somewhere around an 8 or 9. Now with that in mind, that doesn't really tell the whole story, because when you think of firm, you think of like putting a sleeping bag on the ground and just sleeping on the floor. But it's more like, it's just very springy, very bouncy. So like as I'm moving here and moving my hands slightly, I can feel myself jiggling. It's like you're on a platform with springs underneath it, and there's only 1.5 inches of foam. Oh wait, that's what it actually is. So that's what you should expect. If you're like me and your childhood was in the 80s and the very early 90s, remember how mattresses used to be? Like, you could stand up and jump on the bed and it would bounce up and down. That's what this feels like. It feels like a 1980s mattress. So in terms of my sleeping positions, as I lay on my side, I'm supported in a way, but I think support goes too far in that my shoulder is bearing a lot of pressure and my hip is bearing a lot of pressure. Bear in mind that's going to vary for everyone. For reference, I'm in the neighborhood of 200 pounds and I'm about 5'11". So I'm putting quite a bit of downward force on my shoulder and hips, and there's just not much pressure point relief. There's not much there to the comfort layer. It just doesn't really do the trick. When I woke up after the second morning, my shoulder was sore, and I usually don't experience that with most mattresses. Even kind of wrapping back around into my shoulder blade, like armpit area, it was kind of sore. As I lay flat on my back, that might have been a little better, but not a lot. You know, I have a fair amount of curvature in my back. So it's not totally filling the area in the small of my back. Now, laying like this, it actually feels okay. It's not terrible, but after 3 or 4 hours, it's just... It's a hard sensation on the back of your shoulders and on your hips and buttocks. So it doesn't have good pressure point relief, and it doesn't have good support. There's just not a lot redeeming about it other than the price. And here's one last view of the side view from behind. I never sleep on my stomach, so I didn't try sleeping on my stomach, but if I would, this is probably actually the most comfortable position. But again, I didn't try it. If I lay right up on the edge, I feel like I'm about to fall. I feel like I'm about to fall out, because I am about to fall out. There's just not much edge support there. Let me just tell you a few things that you'll need to know. It does have a 10-year warranty. Now remember, warranty doesn't cover I don't like it or I don't like the way it feels. A warranty would cover something like if in the course of totally normal use a giant rip appeared, or a spring broke, or poked through the mattress. 99.9% of people are never going to use a warranty. So it's comforting, not a huge deciding factor when you're buying a mattress that costs well under $200 for a queen size. I will put a link in the description box where you can check it out, and I would appreciate you clicking that link and checking it out. That does help support my channel. So Doug, what's your impression? Well, I think I've already made my impressions pretty well known. It's not a mattress for me. Let me give you a couple thoughts. One thought is, if you're going to get this mattress, I'm assuming you're buying it on price alone. And don't get me wrong, I understand. There's some people, this is the best they can afford. And if that's the case, so be it. If you're going to go that route, might I suggest trying to also buy a mattress topper, something like this, which is memory foam that you can unroll and put on top. This one's also made by Zinus, and I laid on this for part of the time too, and that helped. It took away some of the disadvantages. I'm not saying it made it into a great mattress, but it went from like a 2 to a 5 when I added that. I'll put a link to that item in the description as well. If you like the idea of an inner spring mattress, but maybe you just want something a little better than this, I did a review a while ago about the Signature Sleep Contour mattress, which is the same thickness. It does have pocketed coils. It's a little more. It costs about $45 more, but within the realm of budget mattresses, I feel like it's a much better mattress. So check out my review on that one. I'll put a card up here in the corner that you can check out. If you can spare an extra $45 or so, I think that's a purchase you'll like quite a bit more. Otherwise, the only person I could see this being for, this mattress for, is if you've been sleeping on a plain old inner spring mattress that's very bouncy and very firm for a long time, and you just cannot see yourself transitioning to anything else. I think we've all had a relative like that, or a grandpa like that. Get them this one if that's what tickles their fancy. But do not get it if you're a couple, if you're sleeping with someone else. You'll feel every single move they make. This is, well, I'll put it this way. Zinus is kind of the king of Amazon mattresses and Amazon beds. They sell a ton. They have a lot of good stuff. Zinus is a good company, but this was not a hit. I think they took their green tea foam mattress and tried to make a hybrid version on the cheap, and it just didn't pan out. Now, having said that, if this video goes real big, I'll be willing to try the 10 or 12 inch varieties, and I'll let you know what I think of those. In the meantime, if you like videos like this one, I always appreciate a thumbs up, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. Catch you later. Oh yeah, there's also my written blog review, and I'll put a link to that in the description, where you can read about the Zinus 8-inch hybrid green tea foam and spring mattress. Bye!